Greetings and welcome to the first version of Getting Around with the Professor. Yes, I am the Professor, Dave Schell. That's my handle only in arm wrestling, and the only reason was because a promoter, I'm looking at you, James Reed, said we had to have a nickname or they would give us one. So since I teach history at several community colleges in Eastern Pennsylvania, a couple of us decided to go with that. And the getting around is because actually I do get around. I teach only part-time, and I've probably put a little over 100,000 miles on my car in the 4 years that I've been pulling. And certainly the heavy percentage of that is for pulling related, either to tournaments or other practices. What we intend to do with this is every couple of weeks, I'll be putting out another one of these. What we will do is we will list the tournaments we know that are coming up, tournaments and other events that are coming up in the Northeast being defined as everything east of Ohio and north of North Carolina. I may occasionally mention things out of that area, but those are that's the area that I'm most familiar with. And the area that I get to a lot of practices and tournaments in. So what we tend to do is I'll first go through a list of what we know is coming up in the future. And then after that, we'll then go on and go into some detail over tournaments that are coming up within the next several weeks. So if you want to just note what's coming up and not sit around for the commentary, that's fine too. So to get right to it, what we have over the next several weeks, actually the next 2 weeks, the weekend of Saturday the 2nd and Saturday the 9th of October, actually don't know of anything in the Northeast that's going on as far as tournaments. But then starting the 16th, we actually have 7 items within the 6 weeks following, starting with the 16th October. So to get right through it, and once again, the list just mention what, when, and where. October 16th will be the Jim Bryan Classic, which is in the Tropicana in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Incidentally, I might add that flyers are up on most of these, so you can get further details as far as address and what's going on. The week after the Jim Bryan Classic is on October 23rd is the Virginia State Championships, which the flyers list as Purcellville, Virginia. Actually, the address is Hillsborough, but it's about as far north as you can get in Virginia without getting out of Virginia. Week after that, the New England Championships are on October 30th in Natick, Massachusetts, at the Skybox Sports Bar. Then we have a week which I don't know of anything going on as far as tournaments, so you might want to do some training then. But November 13th is Armageddon 2, the event run by the Armed and Ready Calvert people in Prince Frederick, Maryland. A week after that is the Underground New York State Championships in that Steve's Restorations and Hot Rods in Frankfort, New York, which is near Utica on the 20th of November. Also that week, we actually have several things that week. On Wednesday, the 24th November, which is the day before Thanksgiving, there is an event going on in Erie, Pennsylvania. I really don't know that much as far as details on that, but keep that in mind. And then the Sunday following Thanksgiving, the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend, we will be having a series of challenge matches, mainly amateurs, in northwestern Pennsylvania. The exact location of that to be determined, but that's November 28th. We then skip a week or so, and on December 11th, the Urban Arm Wrestling Championships will be taking place in East Northport, New York, which is on Long Island. That's pretty much what I know about between now and the end of the year. I could also mention 2 other items that have already been posted. The sit-down nationals were just announced as going to be taking place at the usual spot in Yorktown, Virginia. This coming year on April the 9th. And the other poster that has gone up is the Tomato Festival Arms of Steel tournament at the Pittston Tomato Festival in Pittston, Pennsylvania, which is, as always, the 3rd Saturday in August. And so that's pretty much about it for the list. To take a look at what's coming up over the next couple of weeks in some detail, as I say, October 16th, we have the Jim Bryan Classic, of course, in memory of the late Jim Bryan, longtime coach, world champion, and so forth from Team New Jersey, who passed away tragically within the past year due to complications from COVID. That tournament will have amateur, men's, women's, and masters classes. There are some cash awards for the overall winner in both men's and women's at the Jim Bryan Classic. And as I say, the week after that will be the Virginia State Championships in Purcellville, Virginia. That is actually at the Harvest Gap Brewery in the Purcellville area. Of course, what could be better than a combination of arm wrestling and alcohol? And the highlight of that one, of course, is the super match between John Brasink and Paul Lynn. We like to think, however, that one of the highlights for us at the 98% is the challenge match between Gary Roberts and Ryan Grondin to see indeed if Ryan Grondin is the worst arm wrestler in the world, or if Gary Roberts knocks him off that post and becomes the worst arm wrestler in the world himself. So those two super match, challenge match. What we also have at that one is there will be also a four-way card between Brandon Elsesser, Quinlan Mendez, Bill Sinks, and Jason Merlo at that event, and also a super match between Michelle Dugan and Christy Resendez. I hope I pronounced that right. Actually, I hope I read my writing correctly here. But in any event, that will be a rather large tournament besides all the challenge matches, super matches. That one will have have amateur, semi-pro, and pro in the men's classes. Semi-pro, as you may know, is something that's just recently been started at several tournaments, including the Keystone, to allow people that really are probably better than amateur, but not ready to dive in head first into the pros division. The women's division will have both amateur and pro. That's a relative oddity. Usually, we'd like to have more women in the sport, of course, but usually we don't have enough, and we end up with just one woman's category with a couple of weight classes. But we're scheduled, that one is scheduled for both women's amateur and pro. Additionally, there will be a master's class, which is 49 and up, and a grandmaster's class, 59 and up. And also another somewhat of a rarity is we will have kids events, the kids age 12 and under, and then also some teenage classes from age 13 to 17. Usually what is done at these is up to age 12. The boys and girls are thrown together because actually in some cases the girls are bigger than the boys, but by age category that usually group 2 years at a time if we have enough people, and then from age 13 to 17 usually we have those gender specific with the teen boys on one side, teen girls on the other. So that, as I say, will take place on the 23rd October. So in short, that's somewhat of a description of those two. I will be at both of them in Atlantic City and Virginia, and so I hope to see many of you at those as well. Once again, if you have any questions about that, just ask us on the 98% page, and we will get back to you. Promise. Hope to see you there.